All right, folks, what is going on? I hope you missed us. If you didn't, I missed y'all. All right,
You should have missed us. We
right.
missed you.
Yeah, we missed y'all, and it's been a few weeks. So, welcome back to In the Zone with VNZ. I'm your co-host Val.
And there's Cyrus over here. We coming fresh off of Memorial Day.
Yeah,
Hopefully it was a good weekend for everybody. I mean, weather was trash.
right.
Big trash.
We had one good day. It was just that Monday. It was
You
7,
know,
but
fake decent.
yeah, but in by Buffalo standard, that Monday was probably the best day of the whole entire.
I know it sucked though. I mean, Memorial Day, we normally get top tier weather every year.
Yeah,
But this year was definitely a little bit of a disappointment.
for sure. But like I said,
For
I
sure.
yo, don't do that. Don't do that.
For sure.
Not the cat. Chill on my man, yo. Matter of fact, we can stop here though, because honestly, as most of y'all know, and we'll get to Bill's talk here in a second. And as I told Z before we hopped on, it's not gonna be a long episode for y'all. Um, as most of y'all know, I'm a big Knicks fan. I know Z watches the Knicks as well, and there's a lot of funny shit going on, right? We see the
Yeah.
memes, the Carl Anthony Towns impersonations, the
Listen, I tried not to feed into it, man. Them joints is hilarious though.
they LA. Oh my god, all of
It's just so hard not to.
it's funny. But
It's
obviously,
after all that, like I can't, I can't.
after all,
Where you can't unsee it. That's the thing. You hear it one time, like, dang.
yeah, nah, Cat is a funny dude, but shout out to basketball giving us something. I know the playoffs. Honestly, every other year, I feel like the playoffs disappoint in the NBA. Just for different reasons. Sometimes it's injury, sometimes your favorite player not in it. I know anytime we don't get Steph Curry in the conference finals or in the finals, it kind of is like a little bit of you don't get LeBron in it. Sometimes it's like, Kevin Durant. But the torch has been passed. If y'all haven't noticed, LeBron is not getting younger. If y'all haven't noticed, Steph Curry is not getting younger. Kevin Durant is not getting younger. Melo going, D Wade going. So like we got a whole new group of athletes that hopefully the average sports fan, not just basketball fan, can appreciate. I will say as a Knicks fan, being able to watch, my team, come from the
Mhm.
from the ashes. You know what I mean? When I say ashes, I'm talking from Lynn Sanity on forward through the, what I mean, the Raymond Felton years. I mean, that's around the same time, but I mean, if you fast forward to watching fucking Brandon Jennings run the point and Tony Douglas and Lance Thompson and the list goes on. It was
It's a
Kyle.
million years in there.
Yeah, it was a lot of stuff that went on in the last 25 years since they last were in the Eastern Conference Finals. And like to watch, obviously, the fan base become more hated than ever, right? Now everybody hates the Knicks now. And I'm just like, damn, like you would have thought we won 10 championships,
You would
but
have thought. You would have thought we would have made 10 playoffs, let alone.
yeah, and now we're like the most hated team or fan base out there. And man, what a series of weeks we've gotten in the basketball
Mhm.
world. Obviously, I would like my Knicks to be in a better position than being down 3-1. But you know what? We all like a good story. We all like history. So if they are able to fight back, I'm with it. If not, I'm gonna just say, hey, this is when you got to look in the mirror, as I tell my salespeople, and say, what can we do to be better the next time we come and knocking on that Eastern Conference final doors. But yeah, there's a lot going on, man. Karl Anthony Towns, like we started this conversation with, he led the Knicks back from a big comeback the other day, down 20. He had 20 himself.
Yeah,
And
in the fourth quarter.
yeah,
Yeah.
just hooping. And I've always said one thing about Karl Anthony Towns before we, move the subject in a couple minutes here is like when he applies himself, that dude is a top 2 big man in the
Mhm.
in the world. Because you only got Joker. Joker, we know right now is the best big man of basketball. Joel Embiid too injury prone for me to even put him in the
Yeah, he
conversation.
can't stay on the court enough.
Yeah,
If he did,
if he
he'd be
stayed on
right
the
up
court,
there. But
yeah, we'll be fine.
availability, it's a wrap.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So we're watching a top 3 big man and cat right now in this Eastern Conference Finals. We're watching 2 of the best point guards in the world going at it. And the thing about Hallie, as annoying as he is, and the thing about Jalen Brunson, and as annoying as he is to other fan bases, because I just
Mhm.
realized over the last 2 months, people hate Brunson. You bait fouls, you do this and that. I hate to tell you this, guys, real quick. Some of your favorite guards found different ways to create contact.
Everybody finds ways to create contact. This ain't new. This is not new.
Right. It's not
None of
new.
this is new.
You can go way back to 25, 30 years ago. Kobe would sell pump fakes all the time. D Wade, for sure, was one of the masters at getting contact.
But the best ones that do it still know how to finish.
Right.
So,
and that be the main point is like, you got to be able, because I used to love contact too, pause, when I was playing basketball. The main thing that you got to focus on is there's guys who go for the contact and the ball just go out of bounds. But then you got the guys who got the balance and the self-control to take contact.
And it's, again, you got to look at different body types too. Because again, you look at somebody like AI, who's all of 6'1" on a good day.
Yeah.
Inner frame. But he's one of the best finishers in the league with contact, obviously, in his prime. But he's not 6'10". He's not 6'11". He can't just go and play above the rim like that. You have to learn how to take contact and still finish.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, shit, if it's a foul, it's a foul.
And
What you want me to do?
There'd be a whole lot of stuff going on, but I understand it's playoff basketball.
It ain't the 80s no more, man. Basketball got soft. So you want to see boys get clotheslined?
Right.
Because that's what they was doing. I'm like, that's not also basketball.
That's not, And I like where the game is going overall, because I mean, you watch the Pacers play. And this is when I tell people, like, you know, some people gonna listen to this, some people will not, and that's okay. This is when I tell people that even though I'm a very much a big Knicks fan, I still have appreciation for basketball, because people be expecting all Knicks fans to be on the same wavelength when it comes to not being able to compliment other players and teams. Guess what? I like the way the Pacers play basketball. I like the up-tempo style. I like
100%. And the thing about Indiana, they can come at you in waves. They run 9 deep, legit. And all of them can score. All of them can shoot. The majority of them can play defense.
Right. Yeah, and that's tough to handle when you talk about a team that normally goes 7. Now, can the Knicks go 10? Yeah, of course, but they normally go 7, and that's where it stops. So they're forcing, honestly, and this is where it kind of worked in Indiana's favor in Game 4. They forced the Knicks to play 10 guys. They said, you know what? We're going to force you to adjust and get you out of playing your normal rotation, because we already done got y'all to switch up y'all starting 5. Now we're going to force you to play Dylan Wright. We're gonna force you to play,
especially when Cat got them 2 early fouls. It was
you throwing in Precious, which I got no issue with Precious, but it's like when you ain't been doing that all year or all playoffs,
it's a different animal in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, because that you lose some of that little chemistry that's going on. So I think Knicks got to kind of stick to what they do, but also make some small tweaks. But it's gonna be interesting, because by the time we record again, obviously we'll know what direction things went. It'll probably be NBA final. It will be the NBA finals by the time we record again in 2 weeks. So definitely wanted to touch on a couple of those things. And obviously the other series, you got the MVP and SGA going at it with a tough competition in Minnesota, but Minnesota,
I think they're just outmatched.
Yeah, and it's similar to New York, where it's like this is their first year playing with this entire team. And that's what I want Knicks fans to realize about this Knicks with Karl Anthony and Mikal and these guys. I'm like, yo, y'all thought this was all going to come together in one season? I know I didn't. I know when they put Karl Anthony on the team and they added Mikal, I was like, I mean, cool, because you get a real chance to fight with Boston. That's what I thought. When they added them 2 guys, I'm like, okay, Cat, Porzingis, Mikal, and Brown. Okay, cool. I see the vision. But I never was like, oh, this is it. Uh-oh, give us the ring. We got it. Nah, this shit take time. Same thing with Minnesota. I don't think not a Timberwolves fan is going to tell you when they got Julius Randle and Dante, they were like, oh, we good now. We going to take the whole West. This shit take time. Like, and I think we going to find out about both of these front offices in the next 4 months of who's patient and who's not. Because I'm not saying that you can't make no tweaks, because I believe both teams need to make a couple of tweaks to their roster. But like some of the stuff I'm seeing from fan bases, especially here in New York, it's like, yo, trade this, trade Cat, do this, do that, go get Giannis. And I'm like, yo, bro, y'all is full panic.
Nah, that's not what's needed.
I'm like, I don't need another guy that's just gonna go head first to the rack and then try to get, like, bro, stop it. Okay, stop it. We can make it work, make some tweaks. Let's make some adjustments to our bench. And let me tell you something. They will develop that nice chemistry. And by next year, I expect them to once again be Eastern Conference.
Yeah, I need a lockdown defender on the wing. That's what I need. Someone with some length that can cause some issues with some of these
Already
guys.
got OT. It was just Mikal was supposed to be that guy. He just hasn't been.
Right. He's not filling in that role right now. He's great at what he does, but he's not filling that role defensively that I thought he could. But
but not on a consistent basis. That's right. To me, that's the key.
I don't think he can do that and be the scorer that he is.
Right.
I don't think he has that in his repertoire to be both at all times.
Right.
I don't think he can both in the same game.
Yeah.
And he has his moments, like at the end, those clutch plays last series. Like he has those moments.
Yeah.
But
consistent.
But 30 minutes of that in the game? Yeah.
Nah, I need consistency from him. And like I said, I'm not one of these fans that's like, oh my God, it's like complaining about the whole draft picks. Bro, I will never worry about draft picks. Unless there's a top 5 pick that we give away or a top 10 pick. I'm not worried about giving away future 2028 first round pick, this and that. Because fans get too caught up in that. And it's like, yo, bro, we still got a veteran who was averaging 21 a game, a steal and a half, 2 steals a game, and somebody who could help you win a championship. I'm not going to be mad about no future first round picks. I'm okay. He just got to play better, point blank, period. Like it ain't nothing to it. Ain't nothing to cry about. Just got to play better.
Yeah. Still when Tibbs out of there though.
Yeah, I mean, everybody.
It's not gonna happen, but
I know it's not gonna happen, but it's definitely, as the people would say, it's giving. We need a change. So we'll see what happens there. But
they need to mutually agree to part ways. Like it's time.
Yeah, and that's cool too. But again, no need to hit the full panic. But like I said, by the time we record again, we'll know what's up. Before we get to football as well, the Bandits. All right, I wore the tee for a reason. 3-peat. If y'all can see it at home, man, the boys done pulled it off. We got a little dynasty with our lacrosse team. So shout out to.
I mean, it's what's so dope to see. Like again, I wasn't at the game. I watched it on TV. But what's so dope to see is, as a Bandits fan, someone who goes a couple games a year, nothing crazy. I ain't gonna say I'm a die-hard fan, but to see what John Tavares did as a player with the Bandits, and now what he's doing as a coach of the Bandits, like the greatest player in the history of NLL is now turning into one of the greatest coaches too. So like seeing all that coming full circle now, it's dope to see, man. And that arena during the Bandits game, if you've never been before, man, it gets to rocking. There's energy all throughout there, man. You see pure dominance. That last game, man, I think it was 7-6. Next thing you know, it's fucking 13-6.
Right.
They just went on a run and put it out of reach, man. And it's great to see, man. I wish Buffalo had more championships, but at least the Bandits is taking care of business.
Yeah, facts. I mean, you already said it. I mean, it's good to see Buffalo get a chance to rally behind a championship squad. Obviously we're hoping the football team takes that next step, but like the fans, the atmosphere when you go to the games, the music that they're playing, the way that the fans celebrate the players too. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm a big lacrosse fan, but I'm a Buffalonian, as they say. So it's like anytime I see success from this area, I can't do nothing but salute it, rock the merchandise. And I live down. I don't gotta say where I live, but yeah, I live in the midst of all of this. I'll just say it like that. So like, it's good to see when you see the fans walking and taking the train, and that's what it's supposed to be about. We live in a sports town. We gotta embrace it. It's not just food and snow here. It's food, snow, and sports.
Right.
So it's a lot of good things going on. But that leads us obviously to what we got going on this week. We have our first bit of voluntary OTAs going on here in late May, and it is refreshing. We talked about it a couple weeks ago when they were doing some of they activities inside the field house and all of that. They tug of war and shit. But like, this is when niggas is throwing and catching the ball. All right, when motherfuckers is lining up.
This is when it started to get real.
Yeah, when they doing one-on-ones and you start to get a little bit of some breakdowns from reporters. So, with that being said, I know there's going to be more interviews that come out between Elijah Moore and Joshua Palmer, and there's going to be more commentary on Keon Coleman. But I want to start with the wide receivers, man. Like, what are you looking for most over the next, I would say, 6 to 8 weeks when it comes to the receivers that they have bunched in there? Because we know it's a mixture of names. 1 through 4 to me is going to be the most fun group on that roster. When it comes to, especially on the offensive side, defensively, I like the corner battle going on, but like that 1 through 4 to me is exciting because we know what Khalil Shakir brings. I think we know what Josh Palmer brings to a certain extent. But then the 2 wild cards, obviously, is what does that second year look like for Keon? And then also Elijah Moore versus Curtis Samuel. I think those 2 will fight for that number 4 spot. But what's your thoughts on that rotation in the room as we prepare for this portion of the offseason?
Yeah, no, it's exciting at this receiver room because I mean you have one relatively young player in Keon Coleman, and then other than that, you got 4 vets all fighting for position. You know, the way this room is set up, I think you have Khalil Shakir as an established 1.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's kind of open season.
Right.
I mean, again, you pay Palmer, so you expect him to have a role. You drafted Keon in the second round, you expect him to have a role. But who is going to be the one taking the lion's share? And I think the offseason and training camp in particular is going to really determine who's going to step up. I mean, you have Elijah Moore on a 1-year deal. I'm not saying he's fighting for his football life. That's a little bit dramatic, but he's playing for his next contract. So he's going to be motivated. Curtis Samuel, coming up to free agency, he's going to be motivated, especially coming off of a down year. So you're going to have guys sitting there really pushing for that. Josh Palmer coming into a new team, he's going to be pushing hard. Keon Coleman, a rough back into the first season. So, there's going to be a ton of competition in that room. So I'm excited to see how it even plays out, with there not necessarily being one established player. I think it allows the team to be super flexible when it comes to different packages and different sets of players out there. It may not be Palmer and Keon as 1 and 2, but they may want certain skill sets out there at the same time. So you may see a package with a Keon and a Palmer, and then you might see a Curtis Samuel and Elijah Moore out there for some more speed and more twitchiness out there, and throw Shakir out there. So like, there's a lot of different things that Brady has at his disposal to play with that room. So like, I'm excited to see how it shakes out.
Yeah, I think that lineup that you just brought up right there is one I'm curious to see come training camp, because if those who don't know, I think the last time we record, we didn't make the announcement, but the Bills will be featured on Hard Knocks.
Oh, yeah, right.
On HBO Max or HBO. So that's going to be something exciting, which we could talk about in a few. But I really am intrigued about the potential of a lineup where we see a Khalil Shakir, Elijah Moore, and Curtis Samuel on the field together. And you can mix in another boundary guy if you want to. You can put Keon out there or Palmer, but just those 3. And if I got a backfield of, let's say, James Cook, and I got Kincaid at the tight end spot, or Dawson Knox blocking, whatever, I'm intrigued because now, like you said, from a twitchiness standpoint, from an X and O standpoint, you can throw those guys wherever. Curtis can be on the outside or the inside. Elijah can be on the outside or inside. Khalil, outside or inside. And depending on who they got lined up across from, they can take advantage of that. And they all got run after the catch ability, which I like too. And they all know how to kind of keep moving when you see Josh extend the play. And I thought it was very telling when you heard, Elijah Moore talk recently about his excitement level of playing with Josh. And like, you can tell, like, he knows if he does his job, if he does his 111th, as McDermott always says, he knows he can have a very productive year. Might not get the 65, 68 catches he got last year, but I think he realizes that his catches this year can be very impactful. So whether it's 35, 40 catches for 500 yards, or whether it's 48 catches, and 6 touchdowns, he knows every catch is going to matter in this offense. Every play is going to be something that could be it could be the game winner against Kansas City in the regular season. It could be the game winner against the Eagles. So like, I think when you're playing for a contender and you're playing for a quarterback like Josh, I think as a wide receiver, it makes you want to run that much harder. It makes you want to be that much more crisp. It makes you want to execute at another level. So I really think that no matter who they put in there together, but I really like that 3 right there. Man, I think this might be, because I can't remember. I had to look it up how many points per game we averaged the year 2021 when we had Cook, Brown. We had Cook, Brown, Emmanuel Sanders, and Cole Beasley. Because I think this is the closest we are going to get to how great of an offense that we'll put out there in the Josh Allen era. So you might have to look that up for me, because I know that same year we still had Singletary, I think, and Moss. So like from an explosive standpoint, bro, you look at the upgrade that we've made at running back since that year, 4 years ago. I mean, James Cook and Ray Davis, to me, I'm taking them over Devin Singletary and Zach Moss any day of the week.
Yeah, they had 28 per game that year.
Oh man, come on. We did more than that last year.
Yeah, I mean, I think last year was the highest we've ever had.
Right. So that's the crazy thing is like, excuse me, I saw them fucking teeth. But like that's crazy to even think, like, on a year where most people had their gripes, we'll call it, with the Bills offense, they was averaging damn near 30 a game last year. And obviously that was credit to James Cook. That was credit to the emergence of Khalil Shakir and Josh obviously having an MVP year. But if we talking about the potential of this wide receiver room in combination with the other factors, I mean, can we average 32? Can we average 33? I might be willing to, look into that, because I'm like,
yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
With the way the schedule is, I mean, it's going to be a couple games we're going to have to potentially score some points to.
Yeah, especially against like Philly, Kansas City, Baltimore.
Yeah, Cincinnati, like those.
Oh man, that game might end up in the 40s.
Yeah, those are games you're going to have to score some points. In theory, it doesn't have to be, but the potential is high to have to score some points against those teams.
Yeah, because our defense should be a lot better. So definitely, we definitely want to touch on that. On the flip side, man, how'd you feel seeing your boy Trey out there?
Me, I love it. As him being my favorite player of this era. Seeing 2-7 back out there, that's Trey White and not somebody else. I loved it. So again, whether he's the starter, I hope he's not the starter.
Right.
I hope that our guy comes in and takes the job year one. That is best case scenario. However, if Trey had to be there, I still have some comfort that he can be serviceable. So I'm just excited to have him back in the room, man. Like that type of personality, that type of energy, that type of knowledge in the cornerback room, which is now a bit of a younger room.
Yeah, it is.
It's valuable. So, I'm excited to see him out there.
Yeah, he's definitely going to take the role of the captain of the corners, I would say, him and Taron Johnson together. But I love it because you see him moving his feet, looking fluid out there. And like you said, nobody out there is really pulling for him to start, but it's more so like, man, can you teach small things to Max Harrison to make him that
what value can you still bring? Because again, you put the wisdom and knowledge of a Trey White into the frame and body of a Hairston, you got a valuable weapon in that corner position. So, I just hope he's able to do his part.
And he's able to let him know first and foremost, I was a first round corner too that had to start my rookie year. I can tell you what is like week 1,
right,
week 3. You know what I mean? And obviously we know Trey had a great rookie year. So like that wisdom, it just can't be overstated enough. I know there were some people against it. I think I had a couple people message me. They was like, man, you really feeling this move? I'm like, yo, what's the worst that can happen? Like the man gets on the field for 4 or 5 games and then they hand it over, or guess what? He keep him on the field and he's balling. Okay. Or he's mentoring the young guys, the Dorian Strongs, the Max Harristons, the Christian Benford, because I'm pretty sure Benford would still lean on Trey White when he needs to, because Benford is not a corner one.
Yeah. So and if the wheels fall off, you have another corner in the wings, ready or not,
right?
First round pick,
because we know Listen, at the end of the day, man, and I tell this to people all the time, when you build a championship team, you gotta have veteran backups. You know what I mean? You can't be looking for guys off the street come November, and now you calling the AJ Kleins of the world, and you calling John Brown in late December and Cole Beasley in January. Like, no, you need guys that's already in the building, that's been conditioning with you since June, July, to be ready, just in the nick of time. So definitely something to look for. Any other observations that you had, I guess, over the first 48 hours? Like I said, I know much hasn't happened. Or matter of fact, I'm gonna skip that because I want to close it out with your thoughts on the HBO, man. What you think about the Hard Knocks?
Yeah, but before we jump to the Hard Knocks, I will just answer that original question first.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just wanted to touch on hearing Joey Bosa, pop the calf.
Oh,
I was like, come on, Joey. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Your one job this year is to stay healthy. Again, I'm happy that it happened in May. Plenty of time before training camp or any of that to be ready. But I'm just like, this just further submits my thought process of I just need them to slow play him into this season.
Yeah.
Like I don't need you firing on all cylinders in September, dog.
Von Miller shit.
Yeah, I need your body ready by time November rolls around though. So like,
and it's further proof that this month really is a rental. Like, I don't want this man past next year. Like, if he's a plan for the future for like 3 or 4 years, I actually do not want that. Like,
well, I ain't gonna say that just yet. Let me see how this.
I get you. Let's see it on the field first, but bro, I know it's May, but I need healthy, wiry. I need something out there. And like I said, I'm happy because at the end of the day, I got a promising defensive end who's already a stud in Greg Rousseau. I got two young wide receivers. I got two young DNs who could potentially fill the role out there. Landon Jackson. I got Epinesa for another year. So like, I'm not stressed or
it's not the end of the world right now. Again, but
it's still like
he still plays a valuable role this year. So
yeah, we're gonna need him.
Take your time, bro. I mean, you 30. You don't really need the OTAs. Like it has been there, done that for people who've been in the league 6, 7, 8 years. Like, you know how to do this. But I need you to get some Pilates in or some yoga, whatever you need to do to get them muscles relaxed, dog. Like,
man, listen, don't play around with us, man. We need as much help as we can get up front. We 11, 12 deep, but I ain't like that. But anyways,
yeah. But about the Hard Knocks though.
Yeah.
I was on the fence at first. I didn't want it to be a distraction, but then I thought about it more. If there was a team that wouldn't be fazed by something like this, I think it's the Bills team, who has a locker room full of vets, locker room full of leaders. Right. And the thing is, they got so many characters on that team. It's kind of a natural fit.
Yeah.
You got the Deion Dawkins of the world, the Keon Colemans of the world. Like, obviously, you got Josh Allen, who's the reigning MVP, about to marry a world-renowned actress. Like, there's names there. So, like,
Tre'Davious White, Max
Harris.
Yeah. Like,
exactly. I mean, there's plenty of people I haven't even mentioned, but like, I think in the grand scheme of it, Bills is definitely a good pick. Finally you get to see a team on Hard Knocks that is a perennial top end team. Normally you get the bottom of the barrels or second year coach or something, but now you're going to be able to see an established team with an established set of systems in place. This is year 8 for McDermott in there now.
Yeah.
9. I lose track. So being able to see that, how that operates, as a fan of the team, seeing some behind the scenes stuff, so I love that, just to get some additional content. Like the embedded stuff that the Bills do is great, getting some behind the scenes stuff, but an hour every week for a month and some change, that's going to be some great content just to see some more insight. Hopefully we get some background story of some of the players, some more, so just to see more of the personal side. But after thinking on it, I'm excited about it. I think it'd be a nice little enjoyment for the fans.
Yeah, I think you hit on a few different things I was gonna say, but I think overall, just we always say the down days of the summer. It could be real for the sports fan. You know what I mean? Baseball's on, so shout out to baseball. But like when you want to digest that football, it's nothing better than being able to sit back for 45 minutes, an hour, whatever the episode length is, and just watch your favorite team or just watch players in general who you watch all the time and just get that practice field look or get that front office view of how they make roster cut downs, how they make decisions, dealing with the different personalities, and then when they get into those meetings, what they're discussing, or those battles that we talk about, the wide receiver 4, wide receiver 5, cornerback 4, cornerback 5, DT 2, 3. So it's like being able to, like, we talk about these battles in July, but like now we're going to get another look inside those battles, get to see the rookies kind of really mingle with the veterans and get a chance to like build those relationships, the Ed Olivers and the TJ Sanders, because I really feel like them two right there, that's our cornerstone for the next 5 years at D tackle. Is like them two being in on passing downs should create havoc for the next 5-6 years, point blank period. They got similar body types, but I really feel like when we go all out and you throw in a Deion Walker in there and you throw in a Landon and Groot and all these guys, like, I'm just looking for those battles in the trenches, because we already know these motherfuckers like to go at it at St. John. The Deion Dawkins, and what I mean, fucking Dave Edwards and Osiris. Them boys don't back down. Them some big bullies down there, but they gonna have their hands full against this line come practice time. But I know iron sharpens iron, so there's gonna be some great battles that we're gonna get a chance to see. And like you said, Bills embedded. Shout out to what they've done over the last 4 to 5 years, because they've really been able to like give us some real feel inside looks. But with HBO, we know they're gonna give us the inside look, but they're gonna put some stuff on it. We know that. They're gonna try to, hey Trey, come here. Talk to the camera real quick, man. Tell us what you got going on over here. So we're gonna really get that. Yeah, we looking inside, but we're gonna really dive into the personality of Deion Dawkins and get a chance to know his daughter, his wife, and his kids, and blah blah blah. So it's gonna be a lot. And like I said, in the summertime, I'm like most sports fans, I'm itching. I'm rewatching The Wire. I'm trying to find shit to watch on TV, and I'm just like, bro, ain't nothing on TV.
That's what you got going on right now. You mid Wire?
I ain't do it, but every summer, I ain't even gonna say every summer. I'll say every other summer, I end up searching the web to be like, man, what's a series I need to rewatch? And The Wire normally.
I ran that back. Was it last year?
Yeah, it's just because it just is that feel good, like kick your feet up, and you listening to Omar's coming. You know what I mean? Omar's coming, but it should be exciting. Like I said, I know how some fans feel, and I get it, but like you hit on a point that I touched on a couple days ago with somebody. I said, listen, when they normally put a team on there, it's normally a team that ain't really going nowhere anyway. There's a couple personalities maybe, and we get, what the Chargers doing with such and such, or with the Giants. It's the Buffalo Bills, who've been a Super Bowl contender for the last 5 years. They have an MVP quarterback. They have a great coach. They got a great GM. They got veterans in the locker room already, so you're not about to see a whole lot of chaotic scenes where motherfuckers is fighting each other and all. Like, you're going to get some real shit. So it's going to be some heated battles on the field, of course, but like, this is not that messy, drama-filled roster. And I know somebody was like, oh, well, James Cook, hold out. Like, now they going. That's called the life of having great players. And most front offices that are doing it the right way, they know how to handle those discussions and those things privately. Like, sure, they got to report James Cook is not at OTAs, but come mandatory, we'll have that discussion again. And if he want to continuously get fined, that's up to him, because at the end of the day, I always tell this to fans, the players have every right to demand whatever they want to demand. It's not called being a diva. It's called, you want to get paid your worth. And some of them will wait up until September. Some of them will be like, all right, shit, I'm coming in week 2, man. It is what it is, but y'all better pay me. Whatever happens with Cook, I will say this to kind of like, before I pass it off to you, is like, whatever happens, going to happen. But it's no need to, throw more hate at him, because he ain't attending voluntary shit. And He not there yet. This is just all a part of the process. You know, the man want to get paid, and if something voluntary and you want to get paid, I ain't mad at you if you don't want to pop up. But go ahead.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing for me, man. Nobody bats an eye if someone's in a job interview and you talking about pay and salary and you advocating for yourself, like as you should. You should be your own advocate. Like if you trying to get a couple extra $1,000 of a new job, I'm not gonna be mad at you for doing that, and I'm not gonna be mad at him trying to advocate for his pay and his livelihood and his family's livelihood. Like it's business at the end of the day, so I can't be mad at another man trying to take care of his household. Like whether people feel like it's warranted or not, well, he's under contract and this and that. Players get cut all the time that's under contract,
right?
So what does that contract really mean at the end of the day? Not a whole bunch. So if I want to make sure that I'm set moving forward, I mean, again, anybody in his position is one injury away from being on the shelf. Right. So right now I don't have any guarantees past this year. So I need to make sure that I'm set up moving forward. So if he feels it's in his best interest to sit out or hold in, whatever, his choice, his decision. And he's a grown man, so he has to deal with whatever backlash or consequences come with that. But I'm sure it's a situation that he thought out and felt that this is his best decision. So, if he holds out and is still a member of the Bills, I'm gonna root for him exactly the same as I did before.
Right.
Like it don't change nothing from my book. You gotta do what you gotta do. If I'm in this position and I might be doing the same thing.
I'll say it's a big difference between let's call it 17 mil and 12 mil. And a lot of people don't want to admit that because we ain't in those shoes, but let him fight for what he want to fight for. At the end of the day, either they're going to meet in the middle or after this year, they're going to choose to move their separate ways. It is what it is.
I'm in the same spot as I've been in all off season. I said, if y'all can settle on 12 and a half, sign him up and keep it moving.
Right.
That's a number that I feel would be justified based on what he's done so far and projecting what he can do moving forward, and a number that I feel comfortable paying a running back of his caliber. Some people don't even want to do that, but I'm like, shit, if y'all can agree on 12, I'm happy. I'm not going to lose no sleep at that number.
Yeah, I'm not mad either. I mean, listen, my max obviously is still the same what I said before. I'm taking the 13 plus route, but at the end of the day, I think what's going to be the selling point is like whatever cash they can put up front. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. That's why I like that 12 number, bro. If you can do 12, like 3 years, 36 with 30 of that guarantee.
Yeah. It's going to be the guarantee money that's going to matter.
It's going to be moving.
Yeah, it's going to be the guarantee, how much money, what's the signing bonus, all that. So, like I said, if there's anybody I'm going to believe in or at least trust with their decision making, it's going to be the Bills. Like, this is not the New York Jets. This is not the fucking Dallas Cowboys.
They haven't given me any reason not to believe them. I can't think of anybody that they've re-signed during this 10-year of being in McDermott that I'm like, in hindsight, that was a bad decision to extend them or give them another contract.
Right.
There's no one I can even really think of that was a dud like that. I mean, you had some guys like, oh, right, y'all gonna give Dane another 1-year contract. That's not even what I'm talking about. But somebody that extended for multiple years,
right?
There's no one I really think that was a bad decision.
Because everybody who fell out just fell out because of injuries, and that stuff you can't.
You can't control that. Because people saying that Von Miller was a bad signing. I said Von Miller was a great signing. In that first year, he was showing why.
And
then you blow out an ACL. Like, well,
right. That's what I'm saying. You can't predict that stuff. Like, if you would have said he would have been healthy for all 3 seasons in a row,
and that's what he produced, then that's a different story.
Yeah, like that's different. So obviously, like I told y'all, man, we 30, 38, 39 minutes in. So want to touch back with y'all. It's gonna be a long summer, but we here to go through it with y'all. Like we said, it's gonna be interesting because we will have HBO, Hard Knocks in the area. We gonna have the stadium obviously getting touched up. If you haven't seen it, drive by there, man. It's looking beautiful. You can honestly see it from the 219, but it's looking great out there. But enjoy this time of the year, especially if you live in Western New York, because it's that time to get out on the patio, man. It's time to, take a couple road trips if you can, and get a chance to enjoy the next 3 to 4 months. So this is closing of spring over the next 4 weeks and the beginning of the summer. So enjoy this time. We got a lot of more stuff to get into over the next, I'll call it 4 to 8 weeks as we go into training camp. So stay locked in with us. Z, anything else you want to tell them before we sign off?
Nah, man, that's it, man. Pretty straightforward this week, man. It's you enjoy this OTAs phase 3, whatever it's called. I can't remember the exact term. I think it's phase 3, but enjoy phase 3, man. Allegedly Josh Allen getting married this weekend, so shout out to the MVP. As two men over here that love, we appreciate anybody else joining this marriage club. So shout out to him and his future missus. Yeah, I'm sure that'll be a hell of a party. I wish I got my
Yeah, I'm sure it will, man. The king of the mafia, man, Josh Allen. So yeah, congrats to Josh. Congrats to the Buffalo Bandits. And guess what, man? Good luck, Knicks. We will know a lot more in 2 weeks when we record again. But hey, let's shock everybody. We done shocked people before by coming back down by 23 times already. So let's come back down 3-1, go full LeBron mode. But to all our listeners out there, we appreciate you. To our viewership crowd out there who watches us on YouTube, thank you. But a lot more to come. So it's your boy Vel
and the Z. We'll catch y'all soon.
Peace out. Bing bong.